Hey, what's up guys, Auto Fanatics. So today's video, we're gonna be doing another modification to the BMW G80 M3. I'm gonna show you how to safely remove the factory OEM fender vents, and I'm also gonna show you the proper way to make these look good on your car. These are an additional, like a laminate that goes over this section here, but the problem is, and I bought these from every single vendor on the market, the mold is not perfect. So I'm gonna pull them off the car, we're gonna pull the car in the garage, I'm going to show you the modifications required to get these things to look properly and look seamless like it came OEM. You can see here, you see how that doesn't fit properly? So we're going to fix that in the garage, but before we do that, we're going to tape this up, we're going to get the heat gun, I'm going to show you how to pop this off without using a screwdriver or any kind of harsh tools that you could possibly damage your paint. Now, I personally like the gloss black and the carbon theme on my particular car, and a lot of people do as well. So you could actually buy this whole section as one full piece of carbon, but I personally don't think aesthetically I like it. This is like a matte textured plastic. It doesn't really look match or do anything on the exterior of the car. I'm not really sure why they did that. They should have just did this in carbon, or they should have just did it all in gloss black, just like the rocker panels. But this goes over here, a nice little aesthetic touch. You can see it right there, but you can see it doesn't fit perfect. But we're gonna modify this and we're gonna make it fit perfect, because what they do when you buy these in the kit, they give you some fake 3M double-sided tape. You can see here, there's a little bit of a lump in the resin on how these are made. We're gonna modify these, we're gonna clean them up, we're gonna modify this, and we're gonna bond them so it's a perfectly laminated carbon fiber vent over the OEM piece, and we're gonna pop it on the car, and it's gonna look 100% OEM when we're done. So let's get the car in the garage right now, because a lot of guys are doing videos on these and they don't fit well. That's a problem, and it's based on the mold. Whoever's making the mold for these just does not have a good mold. You can see it right there, the way it's rocking back and forth. So I'm gonna fix that today. I'm gonna make these things look a hell of a lot better than most people are showing online, and you guys could do it probably in about an hour to do both sides. So first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna get this thing off the car safely. All right, guys, first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna put some painter's tape right on this edge right along here, because that's where we're gonna pop the clips out. So there's I think 3 or 4 retaining clips, and then this whole piece is gonna pop out that way. So you're always gonna wanna protect your paint no matter what you do. So we're just gonna put a piece of 3M tape right there. And almost always when I'm doing anything on a painted surface, I put 2 layers of tape. You can never be too sure as far as what you're working on and how hard or easy something is gonna come off. Okay, so we got the heat gun set up. Now what we're gonna be using, these are just Bondo spreaders right here. I got a little bit of a firmer one and I got a standard one. I have these in my toolbox, I use them all the time. So we're gonna heat this up, we're gonna kind of go in there, we're gonna pop the clips and pull this safely off the car. You're gonna wanna use like a medium setting. You just wanna get the plastic hot enough, because we have dissimilar materials between the metal or the composite, whatever this fender's made out of, and this plastic. So when you're taking cars apart, the heat gun is your friend, no matter what you do. Okay, so we're gonna get in right there. You heard the clip? Okay, we got that released, and that's it. This piece came off the car safely, no screwdrivers. You can see the little plastic clips right there. So it's raining, I'm gonna pop the other side off. We're gonna get these on the bench. I'm gonna show you exactly how I'm gonna modify them to get these things installed with the carbon fiber overlay to look absolutely awesome. All right, guys, over on my workbench, I'm just gonna show you exactly what I'm gonna be doing today and all the equipment and tools that we're using. So when you buy these laminate carbon fiber pieces, they give you this fake 3M tape. It's just not gonna give you a good installation. We're not gonna use it, but just wanna show you, FYI, if you do buy these, you're gonna get this with the kit. So the way I'm gonna bond it today, we're gonna be using some 3M dual mix auto body adhesive in my gun. Got some extra tips, got some acid brushes here to spread the glue. I'm gonna use this is a new little grinder tool by a company called Vevor. It's actually really cool, they sent it to me. This has a really, really good finesse and weight that we're gonna do some grinding, and we're gonna clean up the tolerance differences. Got some little miniature squeeze clamps here. We got the little sanding drums. And I also have my fine multi-master tool with a small sanding attachment, because I'm gonna show you exactly what we're gonna do. So when you look at this piece here, you could see that there's a lot of little high spots of resin. So I'm going to carefully go in there and I'm going to grind and clean that up so it's nice and smooth, because when you have a high spot here, it's not going to sit flush here. Another thing too, if you look at this piece carefully, is that there's a gloss black high spot. It's like a little bit of a detail right here. So I'm going to go with the fine tool. I'm going to grind that flush. I'm going to grind this flush. Of course, I'm going to tape this up a little bit. And then after when I'm done, I'm going to use the Rupes hybrid. We're going to polish all the piano black back to make it look perfect. And then we're going to glue it. We're going to put the squeeze clamps on, come back in an hour, and I'll show you guys when I'm done. So we're going to get started right now. The first order of business. See, that's why I like this tool. I'm going to put a link to this too if you guys want it. They were kind enough to reach out to me and send me some equipment. And you'll be seeing some of this stuff on the Auto Fanatic YouTube channel and also social media feeds. So we're going to slowly just go in there and just start knocking down all these high spots. And the reason I like this little battery powered, this is a USB 3, is that it has just enough RPM to do little intricate stuff like this with finesse, where you're not going to overpower it with a corded tool. Okay, so we're already knocking this all down, and it's coming out pretty good. So you can see here we're not damaging the carbon. This is just leftover resin. All right, so we pretty much got that pretty good. We're gonna just do a test fit right now. And just by doing that, I could already feel it. It's clenching the OEM part significantly better. Look at that. Look at that, guys. Okay, so once we glue this and clamp it, this is going to be like OEM. Also, one thing I noticed when I was playing with this on the bench, this ABS plastic piece is a secondary piece that is plastic welded to the piano black. This piece is actually pretty heavy. It almost feels like it's like a half a pound in your hand. So that's going to be the first order of business. Now, I noticed with all the vendors that I bought this from, the driver's side has the most resin slag on the backside. I have no idea why, but every single one that I've gotten was exactly the same. So now we're going to tape this up, and then we're going to use the fine multi-master tool, and we're going to get rid of this little piece right here. We're going to sand this all down. It's also going to give it a better tooth for adhesion. So let's get this prepped up right now. All right, guys, we're back. So the first thing that I did in the intermission that I just took is that I put some painter's tape to protect all the piano black trim, because we're going to be going in there with the fine multi-master. We're going to be sanding all of this material here. We're going to sand off this little gloss black reveal just so it sits better and just to make it a little bit safer to work on. So before we go further, let's just put this to the side. We don't want to get anything in the way. And we're going to be using this at a low RPM, and with this little tip, it's absolutely amazing. So check it out. That's why you want to tape it. All right, so you could just see what we just did. I'm just gonna brush this all off, and I'm gonna clean up my workbench. So this thing is perfectly abraded, and perfect for bonding. Now we're going to grab the carbon fiber again, and I can already feel how much easier it pops over for a good transition fit. So yeah, this is exactly what you're going to do. If you want to get this to look perfect, you want to get it to look OEM, you know, you can buy these things cheap, anywhere for 120 bucks to 400 bucks, depending on the vendor. You're going to have to do a little bit of work as far as the fabrication of this and this to get it to look up to a very high level. I mean, I'm just really, really picky on how this stuff is done, and that's why I'm showing this video. Now, also, FYI, anybody that may watch this video, if you are interested in doing this, and maybe you don't have all the equipment, tools, or you just don't feel confident in doing it, please contact me directly through the Auto Fanatic website. You are more than welcome to send me the vents with the carbon fiber parts, and I will bill you an hour, hour and a half labor, and I will ship it back to you. So I'm just throwing that out there as well, because I like to do that stuff for a lot of people that watch the channel, and for customers that also don't feel confident in doing this stuff, I'll be more than happy to help you out. So what we're going to do now, we're going to start going through this one more time. I'm going to probably hit it with this a little bit. Let's just see. I want to hit these edges right here, just to knock that down. I tell you, this is probably my favorite little cordless little Dremel that I've ever owned in my life. Absolutely love it. Perfect balance, perfect RPM, nice and quiet, and it's got just enough at speed 1 to kind of do what I just showed you right there. So we're going to dust this all off, use some prep salt to get the plastic prepped, and then we're going to go to the next steps. All right, guys, so the next step, I'm just going to use some auto body wax and grease remover. I call it prep salt in all my videos, FYI. So it's just going to make sure if there's any protectants for me cleaning the car and using our Auto Fanatic car care products. This is going to make sure everything comes off, but we also did a good job of braiding the textured plastic. Okay, you can see that's some of the dusty residue. You want to make sure you get that all off before we mix the glue. And then we're going to let the glue kick a little bit. It's going to catalyze, and then we're going to clamp this whole thing together. So I got a new tip in my gun. I'm going to show you what we're going to do. So we're just going to put some adhesive throughout the part. Want to get some in this little recess as well. We don't want to do too much because we have to compensate for the squeeze out. But this is a far better solution than trying to use the double stick tape, which is going to give you a tolerance fit issue. It's just not going to look good, and I've seen them done and it just doesn't look good, which is why I'm going through this extent to do this video and show you guys this is a better way to do it if you're capable of doing it. Okay, so got that there, that there. All right, pull back on the glue gun. We're going to put that to the side and let it sit. So what I usually do with this adhesive, I wait a couple of minutes for it to kick. So kick means exotherm. The two components are going to start to heat up, and it's going to start to get a little bit harder and not as a liquid state. When it starts to gel up a little bit, that's when I'm going to apply it to here, and then we're going to put the clamps on it. We're going to let it sit for 1 hour. All right, guys, we're back. Waited about 3 minutes, and what I did, I just took a little bit of a tool here and I spread the adhesive around to level it out. So we're ready to bond the two sections together. We're going to make sure we're clean on that end, And we're just going to drop it over like this. And it fits absolutely perfect. Now, if you get fingerprints with a little adhesive, don't stress out. You could actually clean that off with a little bit of mineral spirits on a microfiber towel. So what I'm going to do, we're going to use these little guys right here. So I'm putting the clamps in areas where there was tension, the way the original fit was. And this is just going to ensure that we have a nice uniform bond. Put a little bit of pressure, you don't have to kill it. So we're going to let this sit for about 1 hour. We're going to undo the clamps. I'm going to show you when we're done. All right, guys, we're back. It's been about an hour since I bonded this. We're just going to take the clamps off. And we're also going to polish up the piano black trim. So you can see this thing is fully bonded. There's no squeeze out, so it's nice and clean. All right, guys, we're all done. You just see I just polished it out with the Rupes Ibra Nano. Now this is professionally done, and we're gonna go put it on the car right now. You just push it and lock it in, and that is perfectly installed. All right, guys, just finished. Pull the car outside. I want to show you guys how it looks in the sun. You can see it there. They look 100% OEM. There's no gap in between the carbon and the paint. That's exactly what was bothering me about the way these things fit, the way they come out of the box. So the modifications are relatively easy. It's a very simple procedure, and this is a process that I use on any overlay or laminate carbon fiber, and I've showed it on the channel for several years when I did all the carbon, the Koshi carbon for the Alfa Romeo. So like I said, I'll put all the links to all the items that I use in this video in the description below. If anybody wants to DIY it and do it themselves, feel free to do it. It's super easy. However, if you don't feel confident in doing it and you don't have the tools, the equipment, you could also contact me through the Auto Fanatic website. Send the OEM vents. I'll show you how to take it out. All you need is that Bondo spreader, a heat gun, and some tape to protect the paint. And send me the carbon fiber, and I will bill you the 1.5 hours of labor to get it done. So thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for more content. The next video on the G80 is going to be, I got the monoball suspension conversion for the front. So stay tuned to that. I'm going to probably be doing that this week. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one soon.